Welcome to Downers Grove. Our teachers touch you funny. Is that Christina Formello or is that Russell Brand? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heather Shaw is Kidding. It's me, Heather Shaw. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing out there, huh? If you came to the Baltimore, Long Island, those garlic knots out in Long Island, I love you so much. Unkissville, I think that's how you say it. I've been pronouncing it wrong. They let me know at the show. It's Unkissville. That's how you say it, not Uncastville. But if you went out to the shows, thank you so much. Thank you. Tonight I'm in Chicago, Illinois at the City Winery. Come out to that if you're in the area. And then I will be in, tomorrow I'm going to be in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Friday, Saturday, New York City at Rodney's. New Brunswick's at the Stress Factory Thursday night. And then Sunday night, I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Stress Factory. Come on out to those shows. Get tickets at heathershawcomedy.com. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. Love it so much when you do. I'm seeing a lot of queefs out there. I don't want anything else as a review. All I want is queef. I don't need to know your real thoughts. If you're leaving queef, I already know your real thoughts. Edie's in the room with me. You can't hear her, but she's growling. Oh, maybe you can hear her. Did you hear that? If you hear any barking, it's me sharting. Edie is not in the room with me. I'm just using her as an excuse that if you hear any barking, it's just me sharting. No bark, just shart. Join the Patreon. If you haven't already, what the fuck are you doing? Bonus episodes every week. Patreon.com/HeatherShawComedy. What did I talk about last episode, which was released yesterday? I talked about my travels. I talked about performing for a table of women who were inpatient at an inpatient treatment center for eating disorders. But it was fun because the table was a mix of women who don't eat enough and women who eat too much. And I was like, why do you need a treatment center for that? I feel like you guys could just talk and meet in the middle and find a happy middle for both of you, all of you. Both sides. They found it fun. Don't worry. It wasn't offensive. They had a lot of fun. None of them fainted. None of them threw up from overeating. So it was really fun. Shout out to those women. I hope they are doing well, getting better. One of them offered me a cracker, a skinny one, to which I said, I think you need it. What are you trying to tell me? And they also corrected me. It wasn't eating disorders. It's disordered eating. And it's like, bitch, that's the same fucking thing. You're just you're just changing the name for the same fucking thing. Focus on healing, not on what the healing is called. It's not cancer. It's just cancerous cells are eating my body. Okay? Don't say cancer. There's stigma attached to cancer. Just say, I've got cancerous cells attacking me all the time. I don't know. Shout out to Steve, by the way. Steve. He listens to this podcast every week. A straight man. I met him in Unkissville. Steve, I love you so much. It was so nice meeting you. Very fun. A man, maybe in his 40s. I don't want to age this guy. It's hard. Sometimes he was bald. It's hard to tell a bald guy's age because they go bald young now. So Steve could have been 12. I'm going to say 40s. I hope I'm right. He came with his wife and she was like, he loves you. I don't know what the fuck you're putting in that podcast, but he's listening to you nonstop. And I'm like, yeah, he's got good taste and he might be gay. And I didn't want to tell her that, but I was like, he might be gay. Does he want to be pegged in the bedroom? Steve, love him so much. So nice to meet a straight man. Steve, if you haven't reviewed this podcast and said queef, what the fuck are you doing? But it is so nice to know that he was very witty though. He was giving me tags for my jokes during my show. And usually I hate that, but his were good. During my show, I talk about how sometimes I double tamp it, which if you don't know what that is, you haven't lived. It's, where you put a tampon in the beginning of the day. I'm talking to the women. When you put a tampon in the beginning of the day and then you go about your day and then you're like, oh my God, I got to put a tampon in. And then you put another tampon in, not realizing that there's already one in. And then at the end of the day, you go to take it out and you've just got strings dangling. Essentially, your vagina looks like the cover of NSYNC's No Strings Attached. Double tamping it. Yeah. Steve gave me a tag for that. He said marionette. I pushed it further. I said in sync. No strings attached. That's for the millennials. Anyway, shout out to Steve. And if you come to the show and tell me you listen to the podcast, I'll give you shout outs all day. I love it so much. Let's get into the show. Huh, Steve? Steven? Well, there's a lot of weird topics on this week's episode. Because there's nothing really crazy. There's been one story that's huge to me. It's not about Lizzo. She's lost weight, so she's not even huge anymore. Also, she's not on the charts. So musically, she's not. Physically and musically, Lizzo is not huge. Yeah, a lot of random topics we're going to go over. I don't really want to talk too much about Cory Booker's filibuster speech. I think I've said that on the show before that Cory Booker reminds me of Bruce Willis doing like light-skinned blackface, like to the point where he could get away with it and it wouldn't be racist. Just an observation. No hate to Cory Booker. I don't like him. Look, he's a politician. I don't like politicians. I'll give Bernie Sanders a pass because he seems like he's fine with his 5 homes. I mean, that's the least of the evil that you can do as a politician. I don't like Cory Booker. He seems like he's vegan. I should like him. Don't like him that much. Didn't he date Rosario Dawson? Did I make that up? I think he did. He broke the record, the filibuster record or something. He spoke for 25 hours, which right away, to me, that screams narcissist. I'm sorry. If you want to go up there and give impassioned speeches while the entire country is crumbling, kudos to you. I don't mean to take away your shine, sir. But anybody who wants to willingly speak for 25 hours, narcissist. I do like that he broke the record. He broke the record of a racist. So, at least the record has been by Strom Thurmond. Let me look up this name. I'm too dumb to know. Strom Thurmond, who was a governor of South Carolina. He filibustered for a whole day, saying, let those black people be slaves. The civil rights movement is a disaster. These black people can't be free. They'll murder us. Cory Booker broke that record. At least it was a black guy or blackish guy that broke the record. But I don't like Cory Booker. He's a hypocrite. He's a politician. He's a snake. I don't know that. I mean, he got a Guinness record or whatever out of it. He didn't pee for 25 hours. I'm sure he has a UTI. But, yeah, I could do that too if I took Adderall. I'll fucking talk. You give me extended release 60 milligram Adderall, I pop a few of those throughout the thing, I'll fucking go. His eyes were bugging by the end of it. I know it took him 3 business days to fall asleep. But I don't like him. He was a politician who was during the first TikTok ban. You know when they first started talking about TikTok banning TikTok months ago? I think it was late last year, they really started talking about it. Cory Booker got on TikTok with his followers and was like, oh, this is awful. Oh, this is horrible. This is the freedom of speech. And then when it came time to vote, he voted for the ban. And then he did the same thing where he did this whole filibuster. I don't even know if it was an actual filibuster because there was no law or anything. He just gave a 25-hour speech about moral courage and resisting fascism, and those are good things, sure, at the core. What he's saying is good, but do you think Trump fucking cares? Bitch, you could have talked for a week straight. Nothing's changing. Unless you're fucking doing something real radical, nothing's going to change. So talking for 25 hours, Trump probably played 5 golf games within that window and paid no attention to you, Mr. Booker. But then again, Cory gave that, I love that a politician's name is just Cory. That's fun. That's like, yeah, Governor Kyler reporting for duty. This is Governor Kyler, 5th state representative of the 5th district in fucking California. Governor Kyler. He gave that 24-hour speech, and then he turned around and voted to arm Israel with more weapons so that they could, commit genocide. These are light things. Yeah, I mean, stands on moral ground and then says, but we need to kill those Gazans. We gotta let Israel do their fucking thing. He's a politician, folks, but good for him for breaking the record. I'm glad that it was him who broke Strom's record. I'll say that. But I don't think this really enacts any change. I think it's maybe I'm cynical. I think it's a bit, look at me, look how great I am. If you want to make real change, you're going to have to do something a bit more radical. And I have no thoughts and ideas about that, but, that's just my opinion. You can connect the dots, maybe. Edie is sleeping on a bed on the floor right next to me, and it's so fucking cute. I wish you could see it. She's like she looks like a little bottle of like soda, like Coca-Cola. She's just a little black dot on the bed. It's so cute. And she's sleeping. This is why I do it, folks. I do it to feed Edie. She eats half a cup a day of food total. She's an expensive dog. All right, let's get into the real meat and potatoes. I did a video on this, but let's really get into it. Russell Brand. Oh, Russell Brand. Russell Brand has been charged with rape and sexual assault. They split up the rape charges over there in the UK. He got charged with rape, good old-fashioned, and then he got charged with oral rape. So they're splitting him up. They didn't even lump that into the rape. Oh, you raped and then you orally raped. You stuck your ding dong in the mouth hole. I have a very Dickensian British accent, something of Oliver Twist, and I love to do that. But Russell Brand is just a character. He's just insane. It makes sense why he really got into God, religion, and the right wing. He kind of got in the alt-right pipeline, conspiracy theories, and it's a thin line. You can say, I don't know about this 9/11, and that's fine, but when you just come out right and say, like, COVID was a hoax and, like, the deep state, when you start saying words like deep state, I just tune out. I just think, okay, buddy. And the thing is, this guy's like a millionaire with connections, and he's still spewing off this stuff. I think he knew that something was coming. Something was brewing. Sorry, I still have this cough, by the way. It's cancer. It's cancerous cells. So they charged him with rape, oral rape, sexual assault, and then they had this other charge, indecent assault. He did indecent assault. That assault wasn't decent at all. It was indecent assault. What the fuck does that even mean? That's so British. You'd never hear an American be like, Annie's been charged with indecent assault. He was touching the downstairs, funny. It was real indecent. Let's see what is indecent assault. Indecent assault, a type of sexual assault, involves unwanted sexual touching in a sexual manner without consent, often involving intimate areas. Isn't that sexual assault? What the fuck are we doing, Britain? It was indecent. This can include acts like kissing, inappropriately touching boobs, butts, genitals. That's just sexual assault. I don't get it. What's the difference? What are examples of indecent assault? Put your anus, boobs, or genitals in contact with another person. Yeah, but what's the difference? An offensive sexual act or series of acts exclusive of rape committed against another person without consent. See, to me, that's just sexual assault. It sounds like British people don't want to say sexual because they're too decent. I'm not trying to be a little crass here, but he was doing indecent assault. It wasn't nice at all. I don't know. I'm turning into an Australian. Yeah, Russell Brand, never liked the guy. Never really found he was funny. It's wild to me that he has a podcast on Rumble, which I think is like the version of social media, like instead of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, maybe YouTube, TikTok. It's like conservative version, Rumble. You can say anything on here, but except you can't say trans people exist. It's like we're uncensored, but it's definitely censored because there's certain things you can't say. You can't get on Rumble and be like, guys, we need better gun regulations. They'll shut you down real quick. Rumble is just like, you can say anything that's absolutely not cool. We'll accept it. So he has a podcast on Rumble. So already that's kind of like jarring. But I was watching a clip of his because he has a defense we'll get into. And, listening to him, he uses a lot of big words because that's his shtick, right? And sure, he knows big words. But, when he came out, I remember he was like, oh, I'm a British comedian. I used to do heroin. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. And now I just use big words. That's Russell Brand to me. Oh, I tease my hair with hairspray. I'm a fucking philosopher. I can't say it in a British accent. Oh, I'm a philosopher, comedian. I speak the truth. He was on Rumble, and I'm like, who is listening on Rumble? Who is understanding Russell Brand? Because I was watching him defend himself against these rape charges on his latest episode or whatever. I just saw a clip of it. And he's still using very big words. He rambles. It's really hard. And maybe I'm dumb. I'm not as dumb as the normal audience on Rumble, so I'm confused. It's very hard to understand his coherent train of thought. Even when he's over articulating, he's over compensating with big words. So it's really hard to see. He speaks in run-on sentences filled with giant words. So it's very hard to hone down. If he were to give me a script of what he's saying, I'm like, we got to trim the fat by 30%. Even more. It is a lot. It's a lot of, it's too much. It's bloated, what he's saying. And unnecessary, kind of like his existence. But his defense was that it's a simple defense. I don't know how much it'll hold up. I think I'm here to break it down and kind of debate that defense. His defense is, number one, I could never do this. I have children. First of all, men love to say, Danny Masterson did this. Oh, Your Honor, when Ashton Kutcher wrote the notes to the judges, being like, please don't give him a sentence. He has a daughter. That does not mean that you don't have to be a sexual pest. You're a sex pest. That's all you are. Just because you came inside a woman and made a baby doesn't mean you're not a sex pest. If anything, that just proves that you're a sex pest. You come inside women and make babies. You're a freak. So that defense already is weird. He did PR photo shoot on the beach. The day after the charges came out, he was frolicking on the beach with his 3 kids and wife. Girl, come on. That's so transparent. You haven't seen those kids. Name their names. You're like Kanye. What are their names? But his main defense was that he's been speaking out, and people have been coming to his defense online saying the same exact rhetoric. His defense is, I've been speaking out about the deep state, and so now they're retaliating and charging me with all of these rapes from 1999, 2000, 2001. They're taking me down with these bogus charges of rape from 2 decades ago. Okay. If the deep state wanted to take you down, they would just kill you. The deep state is not like, oh, I know what we could do. Let's charge him with a crime that never gets convicted. That'll show him. That'll take him down. And let's make it from 2 decades ago. Rape is one of the hardest things to charge someone with because it's hard to prove that it happened, especially when it's from 20 years ago. They would not have done this if they did not have a case. If you wanted to take down Russell Brand, you charge him with something like wire fraud, something that's easy, something that you can plan, something that you can just make up, fakakta, financials, taxes, blah, 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 fraud. Fraud is so easy. People get charged with fraud all the time. Do you know the conviction rate for rapes? Do you know? Okay, so let's say 1,000. First of all, very hard to get a rape charge. A lot of women don't want to speak out against people who rape them for fear or for fear of judgment from society. We have to come up with things like believe all women because people don't believe women. And I don't think we should believe all women. I mean, hello, does that include Casey Anthony? I'm out. Let's say there are 1,000 rape charges that happen. Out of those 1,000 rape charges, this is a statistic that is true. You can look it up. How many of those 1,000 rape charges get a conviction of the crime? How many do you think it is? It's 7. It's fucking 7. 7 out of 1,000 rape charges actually get a conviction. So, yeah, the deep state's going to plan here and go, oh, what's a crime that's like real easy to prove and like always really easy and people will believe? And, oh, I know. How about a rape from 1999? And let's do an oral one. That'll do it. No, you dumbass. They have proof. I mean, if they wanted to just lock you up, they just say that you're P. Diddy's best friend. The AI is so good these days, they can insert you in a tape. This is just a good old-fashioned regular charge of a thing you did. Sorry. And I'm loving the people coming to his defense online. It is laughable. These motherfuckers with GEDs getting online. And if you get your GED, great. But I'm just saying that let's not be a know-it-all if all you have is a GED. Let's not do that. You can do something else like fentanyl. Okay. You can't be somebody who only has their GED and be a know-it-all when it comes to the earth being flat, COVID, science, trans people, and now rape. But a lot of these people are getting online and going, it's all the elites are taking him down because he spoke out about them. Yeah. You know who else speaks out about things? Joe Rogan. Do you know how many charges of rape Joe Rogan has? 0. This is not a pattern that happens. They're like, oh, first RFK is getting a sexual blackmail charge, and now Russell Brand. And somebody literally commented this on my Instagram. They go, oh, geez, RFK and now Russell Brand. Seems like there's a pattern here. A pattern here. And I said, yeah, the pattern is men. That's it. That's the pattern. The pattern is men. And not all men. And women can do it too. There was that teacher that's just been arrested. Oh my God, I've been following her all over TikTok. What's her name? You got to look her up. Christina Formella. Ooh, this is a crazy one. Okay. We'll get back to Russell Brand, but women are more important. This teacher, Christina Formella, Illinois teacher, she banged a 15-year-old. First of all, she's 30. But either way, it doesn't matter. Even if she was like 21, ew. She's 30. She banged her 15-year-old student and then got like stupid jealous and wrote in her notes app a message to him. So like she has all of her there's all the proof. It's a classic thing of like the 15-year-old's mom found the texts. Listen, this is proof that teachers aren't smart. I keep saying it. I don't think teachers are very smart. When are they going to know to keep the crime off of your texts? You gotta learn sign language, or you gotta learn how to go on Signal, and make sure you don't accidentally invite a journalist into your chat. You gotta do something. You're just plain old texting a 15-year-old. I hope these teachers always get caught, but I'm just saying, what's going on? They're mentally 15 as well, if they're not thinking. She was a special ed teacher. I don't think the 15-year-old had Down syndrome or anything. That'd be fucked up. I think it was just a kid. Like able-bodied kid. But Christina was a special ed teacher from Downers Grove. I don't like that that's the city's name. Come on down to our special ed school in Downers Grove. We couldn't think of a better name for that city. Welcome to Downers Grove. Our teachers touch you funny. Is that Christina Formello or is that Russell Brand? But I don't see anybody coming out in her defense. Oh, she just spoke out against the elite. She was clearly speaking out against the elite, and now they're trying to take her down. her mom, the kid's mom, found the text because you can't just go texting "give it to me, daddy" to a 15-year-old and expect things to be fine. And then what is even more embarrassing than banging a 15-year-old? Already embarrassing, creepy, weird. She had a whole, and by the way, Christina Formella recently married to a normal hunk dude, 30-year-old dude, hunk. What's even more embarrassing than her getting caught for banging a 15-year-old, which is creepy. In her notes app, she wrote out, how girls will write out texts in their notes app before they send it to just really get everything out, all their thoughts. And sometimes they'll sit on it for a few days before they send it and they'll never send it. It'll just sit there. They get all their thoughts out. She did that. She wrote a note to this 15-year-old being like, I fucking saw you holding hands with your new girlfriend and I'm fucking her. To say I'm devastated is an understatement. Talking like a teenager. This bitch is fucked up. What deep state did she piss off? Christina Formella. Look her up. Crazy. Anyways, so Russell Brand's putting out this narrative that he's being taken down for a crime that rarely gets convicted because he's pissing off the elites. I mean, girl, if you were pissing off the elites, if you were really doing that, if they didn't look at you like a fucking professional clown on Rumble, because that's what you are. You're a professional clown, former heroin addict, former Mr. Katy Perry, who was in Get Him to the Greek. Do you think the deep state gives a flying fuck about you? They do not. Who do you think you are? Jeffrey Epstein? You're a British clown. They don't care. I don't know. Well, we'll even see if anything comes of this. I mean, again, it is extremely hard to convict a rapist. It is hard because the proof, I mean, these are 20 plus years ago. This is, the charges will follow him, but, these are very old crimes that he's committed. And somebody else kept saying online, well, this is 20 plus years ago. So what, bitch? If you murdered somebody in 1995, what does that mean? I mean, I've always been on the side of if you murdered somebody 25 years ago and they haven't caught you yet, you should kind of just be found innocent. That's kind of impressive. Russell Brand believes he could face criminal charges in the U.S. amid a civil sexual assault case after being charged in the U.K. Oh, so he thinks the U.S. is coming next. Just like he was. All right. So Brand he's almost 50. That's crazy. His charges relate to 4 women. He's going to have to appear in court May 2nd in the UK. And then he's also facing a separate civil sexual assault case. Dude, when it's so many, it's like, you're guilty, dude. You're guilty, and you're a fraud. The case in the U.S. case, which is the civil case, accuses him of sexually assaulting Jane Doe, a woman, in a bathroom and exposing his dick to her on the set of the 2011 movie Arthur, which I do not remember, but, Here's why he's a fraud as well. This motherfucker's not been sober. This guy claims to have been sober since he got off heroin or whatever. He's been like, I've been sober for 25 years. According to the anonymous woman's affidavit. Anonymous, so she doesn't want fame, motherfuckers. She submitted with her court filing. The film star, Russell Brand, appeared intoxicated, smelled of alcohol, and was carrying a bottle of vodka on set in 2010. He then reportedly exposed his dick to her in full view of cast and crew, as well as the employees of the movie's production team, and Warner Brothers. And I think Warner Brothers Warner Brothers is willing to hand over outtakes and other footage amid the case, citing legal documents. The paper stated that Brand's lawyers tried to suspend the woman's civil claim proceedings amid the UK reports. It's coming at him left and right, Yeah, I don't think I just don't believe his whole sobriety thing. There's somebody I know, not well, but I am acquaintance of, this comic who claims to be sober. And one time we were hanging out at this is worse than just not being sober to me. We were hanging out at a comedy festival and I was drinking a mocktail because I'm sober. Sober. If I relapse, I'll let you know. You'll know. I won't even have to let you know. You'll know. I'll have white residue under my nose. I'll look bad. If you think this is me sober, me hungover, oh my God, I look like Jim Carrey's butthole. But there was this comic, and he got a mocktail with me, and he's like, I'm sober too. And I was like, that's not unusual. Comics are sober, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Whatever. Don't really care. I don't care. I don't find camaraderie in sobriety. It's not been something that's been really hard for me to do. So I don't feel like if it was more difficult for me to get sober, or like I went to meetings or I needed that community to stay sober, I would understand. But I was very much like, okay, I'm done drinking. And then I just stopped drinking. So there was no AA. There's no community. When people tell me they're sober, great. Love it. You get it. Welcome to the good side. But like, I'm not deeply seeped in sobriety in that culture. But anyways, he was telling me he was sober. I was like, great. And then the next fucking morning at comics brunch, I see him order a Guinness. And I didn't say anything because I don't know him that well. And also, again, I don't really care. I just noted that mentally. I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking fraud. That's such weird behavior. To go on and on about how sobriety is the best and you love being sober and, you can't imagine any other way. And then the next morning you order a Guinness. Now I know that sobriety is not linear. People relapse all the time. And then, so I was thinking, okay, maybe he's just relapsing actively in front of me. This is above my pay grade. I'm not doing anything about it. I didn't say anything to him. And then 3 weeks ago, he posted a 3-year sober post. And I was like, this guy's a fucking psychopath. I think that's worse than just being like, yep, relapsed. That's normal. That's yeah, totally understand. Totally get it. I'm one life tragedy away from relapsing. If my fiance died or if I had to see something atrocious like Edie, oh my God, if Edie got hit by a car or something, I would relapse. It would take something like that for me to relapse. But I understand relapses, but to walk around pretending you're sober and then drink out public and then also be and I'm sober, that is insane behavior. And I get that vibe from Russell Brand. I don't think he's sober, and it's okay to relapse, but he plays up this part. I've also heard of other famous comedians who shall remain nameless, who claim to be sober and behind closed doors are certainly not sober. Male comics. Only heard about male comics, not female comics. Interesting stuff, creepy stuff. Stop being phonies. If you're not sober, so the fuck what? But don't claim to be. Russell Brand. It would be nice how funny would it be if he just got the death penalty? But let's be real. I don't personally, maybe the charges will stick. Maybe he'll be like Danny Masterson. But I don't know. These seem Danny Masterson's crimes were pretty old too, right? They were more than a decade ago, I believe. So it's possible. He's serving prison time. We'll see. Don't mess with the deep state. That's a joke. All right. Should we get into another story, or should we get into let's do one more story. And then we'll get into the ads for today. These are just some light stories. Because, again, there's not, other than the Russell Brand thing, which I really wanted to go over, there's not much going on. Keke Palmer's facing backlash because she kind of props up abusers. Keke Palmer, I believe, was abused. So this makes sense. This tracks. I love Keke Palmer. This is not going to, I'm disappointed a little. In this move, but I also see it from her perspective because she has been abused, I believe, from her baby daddy, her ex. I think that he is her child's father, so. And I think it's been known that she was abused by him. So I do see sometimes people who are abused stick up for the abuser. It's kind of what they know. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but it seems like it. But I love Keke Palmer. She could really do no. I would be more offended if Keke Palmer was like, I'm sober, and then was doing, cocaine, and I saw her doing cocaine. I'd be like, you fraud. But this one's not as bad, but she is facing criticism. She, on her newest podcast episode, she had on Jonathan Majors. We've talked about Jonathan Majors so much. Jonathan Majors is the actor who was using his girlfriend as a punching bag, and then was like, whoops, and lost his career, and then was facing like 4 charges and got that reduced to like half of that because he had a new girlfriend, Megan Good, who he hired to be his girlfriend and to do damage control. It's a good PR move, you know? Actors are psychopaths. They'll do anything. Armie Hammer is out here on every podcast trying to get people to remember how hot he is and that he didn't eat women's hearts for fun. You know, actors are just psychopaths. So Jonathan Majors is on his, comeback tour. He's hitting up all the podcasts. He's on Keke Palmer's now. She gave him the time of day, and people are kind of pissed off about it, rightfully so. Why do you want to sit down with a man who beats on women? And don't give me this, it was one woman one time. It's never one woman one time. Sorry. The only time it's one woman one time is the first time. What's even worse is her episode is titled No Easy Answers, Accountability, and Moving Forward. It's like she's telling you what to do. Just okay, he's going to come on here and he's going to be like, whoops, and then we're going to move forward and going to put them all in the movies again. It's fine. It's a little weird. She could have any guest on, and she's like, let me get that guy who beats women. I know that it wasn't her idea. Right? I mean, this is Jonathan Majors' publicist going to her team and being like, hey, can we get Jonathan on? I don't know. Maybe they bought the spot. Maybe Keke has a soft spot for men who punch women. He was found guilty of 1 count of assault, 1 count of harassment against his ex-girlfriend, just so you know. So he was found guilty. And he also, talk about accountability, he subsequently said in an interview that he was responsible for none of her injuries. So what accountability? It's a little weird. But if you want me to break your heart even more, here are the people who are defending him. Matthew McConaughey, Michael B. Jordan, and Whoopi Goldberg all further voiced their support. Now, Michael B. Jordan worked with Jonathan Majors. He probably saw his work ethic on, I think it was Creed. I'm sure Jonathan Majors is a great actor. I mean, I'm sure he puts in a lot of work, but yuck. And I wonder if this is his team paying off people left and right to be like, can you please promote this guy? Can you please voice your support for him? It was just one woman, and it's not like she's dead. He's trying, man. He's got a movie coming out, Magazine Dreams. Here I am promoting it for him. But, he's a woman beater, so don't go see it. Shortly after the cover dropped, what cover? I'm trying to read this article and talk. It's very hard. Audio leaked that allegedly revealed Jonathan admitting to strangling Grace. I can't speak to it, obviously, because you're talking about it. There are vibrations, reverberations, I just don't care. I can't. I don't care about Jonathan Majors. I don't care about his comeback tour. He's going to get a second chance. All men do. Not a lot of women get second chances in this industry. Men do. And that's on patriarchy. Britney Spears, I mean, I guess she could get a second chance. I saw a video that Britney Spears posted on her Instagram, and she looked methed out, dude. She looked tweaked. I want only happiness for Britney. I wasn't a big spearhead, you know what I mean? But I'm a woman, and I grew up with her and her music, and you see where she's at now, and it's like, ugh, God. But yeah, she looked tweaked the fuck out, dude. I don't even know what she was talking about. I hope it's still up on her Instagram. I can't look right now because I'm filming this on my phone, but please pull up Instagram and try to find that Britney Spears video on her Instagram. She's laying in bed. She's got very dark eyeliner. She's not making any sense. She's talking in a British accent. She is a gone. Cuckoo baby. Please, Keke Palmer needs that Britney on. Moving forward. I don't know what Keke was doing here. I think money talks sometimes, and I think that's what was happening. Keke has also kind of supported R. Kelly. She's been seen in videos with R. Kelly. I don't know. It was probably before all of his stuff came out. But listen, I think she's from Chicago, and she grew up with listening to R. Kelly's music. I am very much support the art from the artist. I happen to not enjoy Jonathan Majors' art, so it's really easy for me to just shit on him. But I understand if Keke Palmer's a huge R. Kelly fan, that it's hard for her to reconcile that with him peeing on minors. So maybe she's now at this point where she's like, I can listen to the music, but like that man's gross. You know, I'm very much for separating the art from the artist, because there's a lot of good art made by really awful people. Her episode description reads, accountability. It's a loaded word, right? Not really. We're living in a time where we want real accountability, especially for things men have gotten away with for far too long, like hitting the fuck out of women and then saying that it wasn't your fault she got injured. At the same time, finding forgiveness feels harder than ever. Well, that's because he's beating on women. Like, it's really hard to be like, it's okay, girl, I forgive you. Yeah, I called you girl, but that's definitely a manly punch you packed. It's really hard to forgive women beaters. I don't really want to forgive them. I'm sorry. If you're putting your hands on a woman, I don't think that it's on me to forgive you. In fact, I think you're an absolute piece of shit, and I don't think there's any kind of rehabilitation or therapy that you can do that you're going to come back from that, in my personal view. I don't care if you found Jesus. Have you found a way to keep your hands off of a woman? And then she goes on, and we're still figuring out what true accountability even looks like. True accountability, to me, looks like if you're going to have somebody who's been charged and found guilty of beating on a woman, if you're going to have him on your podcast, accountability would be for him to be like, yeah, I did that. That was fucking awful. You're an actor. Act. Pretend you're remorseful, Jonathan Majors. You're an actor. I don't think he once said during that episode, that was insane. I'm a piece of shit. I'm so sorry. None of that. No accountability. There was none taken. I don't know. Keke's just going in overtime for... It's like, I don't know why she's taking on the emotional labor of helping Jonathan Majors reach a point of accountability and understanding what he went through and like, why did he do it? Like, it just is very like, that's a lot of emotional labor, and you're a woman. Like, if anybody should be doing the emotional labor, it's Jonathan Majors in a fucking office with a therapist. Shouldn't be on another fucking woman to have him on her fucking hit podcast to talk about why he can't come to terms with what he's done. It's weird. Keke says, this conversation isn't here to give you all the answers. It's complicated. It's messy. But hopefully it brings us a little closer to understanding the complex emotional landscape of the time we're living through. It's a lot of bullshit to me. Reading that is crazy. Again, she's taking on the emotional labor of understanding the complex emotional landscape of a woman beater, of an abusive asshole. I just don't have any... I just don't have any sympathy. I don't care. I'm judging Keke Palmer for this. I still love her. This does not change. I'm separating the art from the artist right now. I love Keke Palmer. I think this choice was fucking odd. But I think that she's also got abused brain. I think she was abused by her ex. And I think that shit sits deep in you. Where you're like still covering for the abuser kind of shit. Still placating the abuser. It's something that's deep in you sometimes, and it's not Keke Palmer's fault that she was abused. It's not her fault that she is kind of, giving an olive branch to another abuser. It's just, it is what happens. So good luck to Jonathan Majors. Maybe he'll come out with, a biopic of Chris Brown. He should play it in a biopic of Chris Brown, because then it won't be too hard for him to act. All right. Let's get into our... This is a longer episode today. You're welcome. I'll just be yapping. Lucy Brown, you know them, you love them. Enjoy coffee from them anytime, anywhere. Mostly at home because it's a coffee subscription. So I talk up their coffee subscription so much. I know you know it. Why don't you fucking have it yet is the question. It's perfect. Every single month you get a new bag of coffee sent straight to your door with the preferences you like. Do you like dark roast, light roast, medium roast? Whatever roast you like. That was a weird, sly, subtle mouth fart. With the coffee subscription, Lucy Brown sends you coffee straight to your door every single month, like clockwork, and it all starts as low as $20 a month. That's nothing. Think of how much you're paying out for coffee. I'm a cheap date, and I still save money on coffee because of Lucy Brown's coffee subscription. I get black coffee wherever I go, but, that shit does add up. I mean, it's $4 or $5 a cup, and I'm going out all the time. I love the coffee subscription. It is the tastiest coffee. I get to discover roasters that I would not have any idea about. I mean, they come from all over the country. Lucy Brown, they find these roasters and then they show them to you. And it's a really good system, and it's a really good product that they're offering. Get the coffee subscription. All you got to do is fill out the form on their website, and then you'll get those coffee beans sent straight to your door while you're sitting in your underwear scratching your queef-laden lips. Sorry. Visit LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI browncoffee.com, and follow the coffee subscription button to get signed up today. And if you use the code HeatherShawIsKidding, you'll get 10% off your first order. That's, again, if you use the code HeatherShawIsKidding, you'll get 10% off your first order. So get signed up for that coffee subscription at LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI browncoffee.com. Thank you, Lucy Brown, for sponsoring this show since day one. We love you so much. You're the best coffee shop, and this is the best coffee subscription. See ya. All right, Andrew Tate is gay, I've decided. I have a very good gaydar when it comes to men, and I just saw a picture of him and his ex kissing, and that man's gay. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, all the stuff he's being charged for? That man don't like women. This man does not like women. He hates women, actually. And you know who else does not like women? Gay men. Some gay men hate women. Not a lot. I've not met a lot of gay men that hate women. But there are certainly a lot of gay men, all of them, that don't want a woman's labia in their mouth. I would venture to say all gay men do not want breasts in their mouth, unless it's from a bear. Andrew Tate, God, I hope I can post this picture. It's so fucking funny. I'm going to try to make it the thumbnail on YouTube so that you can at least go see it on YouTube, because it's so fucking funny. The way he is not into kissing this woman, and she's a beautiful plastic woman. You know, she's a woman who would be dating Andrew Tate. How about that? You know, you can kind of use your imagination. She's certainly not somebody in Mensa. I'm not saying that she's an idiot, but you know, her name's Bree. You know, any Bree I've met is maybe a bit shallow. And that's okay. Not everybody has to read a book. We need shallow people. We need somebody to suck Andrew Tate's gay cock. Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriend, who is suing him for allegedly attacking her during sex, is now speaking out against a self-proclaimed misogynist. There's your first red flag that he's gay. Self-proclaimed misogynist. He's not even a closet misogynist like most straight men. Most straight men are like, yeah, I wish I was kissing my best friend, but society says I have to date women, and I can get behind that. But boy, are they fucking annoying when they start talking about things they like. You know, that's most straight men. There are a lot of straight men who are like, love my wife, love my girlfriend, love women, can't get enough, pussy hound, that are actually pussy hounds. But a lot of them are like, I actually hate women, but like I'm sexually attracted to them, but I think they're the worst. And sometimes I wish that my best friend just had a vagina and boobs so that I could bang him. Then we could like high five after sex and talk about sports. She said their relationship took a dark turn. Yeah, well, you're with Andrew Tate. I don't know how they were introduced or how she didn't know about him, but dude, if anybody was like self-proclaimed misogynist, maybe don't date them. I don't know. I never thought the leopard would eat my face. You know, it's giving that. It's giving anybody. It's giving Dave Portnoy bitching about losing $20 million in the stock market after voting for Trump. You know, it's like, what the fuck do you expect? This guy, Kamala laid his plan out perfectly. And actually, when Kamala was talking about how he was going to destroy the economy, she gave him till midsummer. She said in midsummer, he's going to be doing what he's actually been doing now in April. So, you know, Kamala was a little off on that. She gave him some time. But these text messages that were released between Andrew Tate and Bree, dude, he's so gay. The way he talks to her is like, I hate my mother. I hate women. I'm pissed off that I can't just be out and loud and proud gay because I've been trained and conditioned that to be gay is to be completely wrong. And I don't, you know, I can't face who I really am. So I'm going to date women and terrorize them because I actually fucking hate them. I mean, that's really what it is. Jonathan Majors, I'm convinced, loves pussy, you know, but sometimes that pussy angers him and he punches that pussy. But Andrew Tate really does, he hates women. He's like vitriol against women. That only gives like, I hate my mother. I hate women. And I hate that I have to kiss you on your stupid lips. I wish your name was Bob. So this is a text message between Bree and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate says, I want to beat the fuck out of you. You will give me a child this year, bitch. This is why I say she's dumb. I didn't say she's dumb based off of her appearances. It's how she texts. This woman's American. So he says, I want to beat the fuck out of you. You will give me a child this year, bitch. She says, why do you want to beat me? It's 12:30 in the morning in the room. I sleep soon. I thought she was foreign. She's not. She's American. I sleep soon. He said, what's the point in having you if I don't beat you and impregnate you? You should be thankful. God, this guy hates women. Next, other text messages. Andrew Tate says, I really love hitting you. It's very good for me. Yeah, because it gets all of his mommy issues out onto her face. It's relaxing, don't you think? Then she responds, Pookie, no, I cry. I mean, this bitch is dumb. Sorry. I'm not saying she's dumb because she's being abused and not being like, fuck you, blocked. I'm saying her responses are fucking weird. And again, she's American. Another text message exchange. Andrew Tate says, you need to be hit. Which is him being like, I just had another gay urge. I need to take it out on your face. You need to be hit. She says, why? I don't like it. What did I do? Very odd answer. If somebody texts me, you need to be hit, I'd say, your mother's a whore and block that number. She said, why? I don't like it. What did I do? He said, you deserve it. I mean, this guy, there's no part of me that thinks that Andrew Tate likes seeing a vagina. Not a single part of me. Last text message exchange she posts. Andrew Tate says, if you ever betray me, you will regret it. She said, okay, crazy. See, this one's good. This one's a fine response. And then he said, no, I'm serious. So, I'm surprised he never murdered her. He's telling her, what's the point of having you if I can't beat you and impregnate you? I mean, ladies, I understand that there's a mindset of people who are abused. But I just don't know how. I don't know. If somebody ever said it to me, maybe I also hate men. It's easier for her to kind of get sucked in because she's sexually attracted to men. So, maybe if my fiance texted me saying, I'm going to beat you, I'd be like, yes, queen, slay, let's queef it up. I don't know how I would react. So it's easier for me to have a visceral reaction to men. So who knows? Bree Stern says she was scared to death near the end of her relationship and her terror hasn't subsided because she says she's receiving abusive messages from numerous Tate fans online, more gay men. Listen, don't date a self-proclaimed misogynist, okay? That's like a man going, yeah, I'm a self-proclaimed come too fast. And you're like, well, let's see if this guy's good in the sack. I don't know what you're expecting out of that. I really don't. Where are we at in this episode? All right, we can wrap this up. This has been fantastic, huh? I've enjoyed this episode a lot of ranting on Russell Brand. That's all I need. Ranting on Russell Brand. That's what I'm going to name this podcast. I'm telling my producer right now, my producer is me. Fyre Fest 2 is not happening. I was going to go over Fyre Fest 2, but I just don't have the energy and I don't care. Billy McFarland is a fucking nerd, idiot. He's the guy who put on Fyre Fest and it was awful. We all know the story. If you don't know Fyre Fest, you need to go catch up. What year are you living in? I can't help you. Steve, do you know? You better know about Fyre Fest, Steve. You 40-year-old, or maybe you're, 16 because you're bald and I can't tell. Fyre Fest 2 is not happening. Billy McFarland went to prison for fraud over Fyre Fest. Came out of prison and said, I've learned nothing. Let's do it again. Here go another one. No acts have been lined up. No acts have been confirmed for Fyre Fest. No location has been confirmed. I don't know. Part of me just thinks this guy's he's an attention whore. And I think he should date Andrew Tate if he wants some good attention. Stop pretending that Fyre Fest 2 is going to happen and just start dating Andrew Tate. You guys would probably make a beautiful family. I know that Billy McFarland's probably not a closeted gay man, but a woman can dream. And Andrew Tate, I just hope that Andrew Tate finds a man who will show him what true love is. And that so he doesn't have to terrorize women because he can't come to grips with his own internal, internal self-loathing. internalized homophobia. Oh, I'm so gay and I'm so mad that I can't be out and proud that I'm going to abuse women. Because that's what they're here for. I hate them so much. If you are too rude to women, just know we all think you're gay. All right, not you, Steve. I know you're one of the good ones. Your wife looks like she's very pleased. Until next time, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for listening. Check out shows. Come to a show. It's very fun, very unhinged. Tickets at heathershawcomedy.com. Again, I'm in Chicago tonight, New Brunswick, New Jersey, Thursday night, New York City, Friday, Saturday, and Bridgeport, Connecticut, Sunday. Let me tell you the other cities that are up on my website now for tickets. You can check me out in St. Louis, Boston, Napa, California for the Napa Valley Stream Fest, Flagstaff, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Poughkeepsie, New York, LA, Bristol, Tennessee, Westchester, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis. Tickets have just been added for a show at Helium. Royal Oak, Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky, Nashville, Tennessee, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Denver, Colorado, coming soon. Colorado Springs are on sale now. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Columbus, Ohio, Massillon, Ohio. I think I'm saying that right. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's a whole Uncasville situation again. Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're also going to be adding Batavia, Illinois, Minneapolis, Minnesota at the end of June, Portland, Maine, Denver, Austin, Raleigh, and more. Go to heathershawcomedy.com and get your tickets now. It's a very fun show. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast with a single word, queef. Enjoy the Patreon. Join it up. Heather Shaw, it's patreon.com/heathershawcomedy. You get an extra episode of this podcast every single week. I think we're up to 65 episodes over there. And I talk about more personal things that I don't mention on the main pod. Maybe I spill some tea on things. People I've met, people who are assholes, people who I love. Join the community. It's a good one. Patreon.com/HeatherShawComedy. Until next week, I love you so much. Stay gay, especially Steve. All right, see ya.